Hello guys, my name is Akko Samuel and I'm here to teach you how to draft a professional CV. Now, what's a CV by the way? It's a critical tool for securing jobs. It's the first thing, it's the first steps to getting jobs. So many times when people reach out to me and say, "Oh, how do I get started in product design?" I always ask them, get a CV first because that's the first step in telling your potential recruiters who you are, what you've done, what you're capable of doing, and how well you can fit into their culture. So that's what you need. Now, when we move along, when I ask, oh, I have a case study, I have a portfolio. Do I really need a CV? Oh, yes, you do. You need it to show them your design expertise, your ability to solve problems, highlight the impact on the projects you worked on, show signs of career growth. And it's the first thing they need to hire you. It's the first step. They'll have to draft a list of like maybe 10,000 CVs and pick the best people that fit in. So your CV has to stand out. And in order to do that, it has to have the right things on it. All right. Now, I'm going to be looking at three ways where we can draft our CVs. We're going to be looking at the entry level, the mid level, and the senior level. Now, who is the entry level person in a product design? These are guys that, they just finished school or they had a training boot camp or they're switching careers from one place to another between 0 to 2 years experience. You understand? So they don't have much in terms of experience, but what they can make up for it, they can look attractive by making up for it for the kind of skills they learn. The skills they learn and the internship programs they will go for and the personal projects that they work on. These things are very good. Educational background too helps, especially if you've specialized in the area of IT, computer science. But if you don't have that, I've seen people move from medicine to product design. I've seen people move from law and where have you. It doesn't matter. You could join, you could start from anywhere, just do your training boot camp, improve your skills, get your personal projects, and you're good to go. Now, the first thing should be on your CV is who are you? First of all, introduction. Who are you? How can we contact you? Let's know more about your professional experience and let's see the case studies you've worked on. These are the five main things that should be on the header of your CV. Your name, your email, phone number for contacts, your LinkedIn profile to, get more scope around you if interested, and your LinkedIn product and your portfolio to highlight your case studies and what have you. Now, after that, you have to go through the summary. Now, who are you? Now, I'm not a big fan of passionate. I actually um, tell my designers not to use passionate because I feel it gives too much entry level vibes. I like you to look a little bit more professional, even though I know you're just starting out. But hey, everyone is doing it, so why not? Maybe passionate is a word that speaks well with much organization. So yeah, you can go around and put it. So passionate and detailed product designer with strong foundation in UI UX principles, wireframing, prototyping, and user research. Skilled in Figma, Sketch, Adobe XD with a keen interest in creating user-centered experience, seeking an opportunity to contribute to a collaborative design team and grow professionally. So what are you saying here? You've indirectly told them, I understand the foundations of product design. I understand the principles. I know how to do wireframes. I know how to prototype. I know how to do UX research. You can add a couple of other things that don't seem too extra. You can do that. Now, for the skill sets, when you're talking about tools, I always encourage young designers to go ahead of Figma, Adobe XD, and Sketch. Believe me, these things stand out when you're starting out. When they're hiring entry level guys, they will want to hire guys that have a vast area of skill sets. So if you've learned Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, Adobe After Effects, Procreate, Premiere Pro, anything that is design related or creativity, put it there. Even if you've learned HTML or CSS, you got to put it there because these are the things that will make them stand out. When they look at such person, they say, "Oh, he has a lot of skills in this. Let's take him. He can do this." My first product design job I took based on the fact that I know how to code. So you don't really need to know the JavaScript. They say, "Oh, can you create markups?" I said, "Yeah." And you could also learn no-code tools, the Webflow and the Framer. These things have an advantage. And then you're talking about, oh, you're seeking to contribute to design team. So you're telling them that you're collaborative. No one wants to hire an isolated designer. Everyone needs someone that it's can work as a team, collaborate with, because that's how you get the product done. and you are willing to grow professionally. They like people that have that hunger. So what you've done is a simple analysis of telling them who you are, the skill set you have, and your potential, telling them that you're a prospect. Now, the next thing, because of the lack of experience, your skill set has to be detailed. When I say detailed, it has to speak, it has to have volume. Now, when you say, oh, I have a UI UX design, you need to explain that you have understanding in layout, color theory, typography, spacing. You could add other things. You could, and when it comes to UX, you have usability, accessibility, and user flows. There's many things that you understand at the time because you never can tell which one can work out for you. Now, you can always look at wireframing, prototyping. Yeah, so you can add all the skill sets use the wireframe. And you could also put like the other skill sets you're familiar with, Adobe XD, Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, everything. Because sometimes you could join a team that is, focused on creating some brands and they want you to develop some icons and other stuff like that. You need to tell them that any space you have, I could fit right in. It's an entry level, so you need to like have that jack of all trade, that wingspan to accommodate a lot of skill set. Expecting that you're not so high up, like you're not so professional, so they know that okay, if you all have these things, it could work out for you. Now, user research and usability testing. Now they're not expecting you to do great branding research and all that, but you could tell them that oh, I could do online surveys. I could use Google um, sheets and all that. I could do competitive analysis. I could check some products and check out the pain points and behavioral patterns. I could develop personas as well. So these are very interesting areas that you want to let your recruiter to know about. Design system and components. Now, at this point in time, they're not expecting you to be able to create design systems. You can create UI kits. That's separate from creating design systems. But one thing is very important to know. You need to understand how design systems work. So I think the first design systems I learned was Material UI because then there are lots of Android applications and a lot of them had to meet some standards. So you need to understand the standards for both material design and Apple. You can branch later to learn Fluent. You can branch later to learn Ant design principles. You can branch later to learn Shopify, Atlassian. Those are, more focused and, based design systems. Then this is a very challenging topic that has been going on with designers that are just coming in. Oh, do I need to know how to code? Yeah, I know a lot of you run to design because front end and back end wasn't so friendly. But hey, you now come and say, oh, they are coding here too. But no, it's not really a must. You must know how to code, but it's important to understand the concept of um, programming. It helps. So that way you can effectively communicate with your developers, understand the constraints when you're coming up with your designs and what have you. So it gives you an advantage, like it actually gives you an advantage, and it gave me an advantage when I got my first job. It was one of the key things they asked, oh, are you familiar with creating markups? I said, yeah, I can do that. And yeah, I got the job. And you can build on that. Now, let's talk about your experience. Now, we're not expecting much. And a point of note to know that even though you've not done anything, if you've not worked on a live project, because this is a very challenging phase for most designers, they want to like work on a live project. I can tell you there are even mid-level designers that don't have live projects because your project going live is not based on your designs. There are other things that come into play. There's the product team, there's the legal team, there's the marketing team. There are many other metrics that will determine whether a product will go live. But what you can do is, even though you've not interned, you've not had any opportunity, freelancer must be on your distance, self-employed, and you must put some projects. So even if they are like personal projects, put it. So that's why I said when I see designers, it's nothing wrong with creating like markup screens, creating login screens, creating checkout screens. But there needs to be a reason why you're creating these things. For example, design the mobile app for startup that helps users track expenses. You see, it's not just designing an app, it's designing an app that tracks expenses. There's a purpose, there's a goal. Now, the second one created an interactive prototype for job portal to improve candidate matching. There's a goal. So you're telling your recruiters that when I'm designing, I'm solving a problem. So you have to do that all the time. Now, when you get into an internship role and you're in the company, you find out that most of the times you're either creating designs that are being directed to you by either the PM or the developers, or you're collaborating with designers to come up with wireframes and prototypes, or you're doing small user research and or documenting, write everything down, creating video. You know that thing I said about learning Illustrator and all that, so creating visual assets for the marketing team. Yeah, most times, and I say this, you might find yourself collaborating more in the marketing team when you start your career as a designer, because at that point you're seen as a product designer, a graphic designer, a brand designer. Anything that they need to create designs, they will just come to you to do it, especially when the other guy's hands are a bit full. So it's going to happen. Don't look at it as a spit in your face or something. Take it as a learning process and the ability to learn from different departments. All right. Now, certifications, these are things that will jinx up, or these are things that will juice up your CV. You have to do a lot of courses, whether accredited or non-accredited. Put all the courses there. A lot of people say, oh, it's not an accredited course, I don't want to put it there. How will they know you understand this when you don't put it there? At least, even if it's not accredited, at least they know you learned something, you know something, and you did it, you did the work, you learned the videos. So Google UI UX design course is nice. Course I've seen a lot of youngsters have done that, and I've come across the course, and the course is actually nice. Very foundational. Gives you, tells you why they do certain things, and it emphasizes more on the principles. Interaction Design Foundation (IDF) is a very nice place, although there'll be more reading than in actual video tutorials. But I think what I like about it is you can learn at your own pace. You read and understand. So some people are good, better at learning, like reading, but others are not. Coursera design specifications. I haven't done this course, but from the feedbacks I get, it's a very good course. Now for Udemy, and that's my go-to area. I started with Udemy, and these are the two courses I used to start off my career. First, I learned Figma because I needed to know the design tools. Then I went on to learn complete web and mobile designs, UI, UX, Figma, and more. So this one basically just gave me the design principles and other ways of doing my UX practices and all. So these two courses really set me up, to get better. So I'm not trying to be biased. You can go through the course and see which one works for you. I think there's always a preview video, and you look through it. And you can also have some other courses. You don't have to be these courses. Then you have like you have to showcase two or three projects. So that's why I said when you're building your personal project, let it have like something it's solving. It doesn't have to be a robust project. Let it solve and just so you just want to tell them, at that point in time, you're showing them your skill sets, everything. That's why if you see most entry level designs, they have everything, wireframes, they have everything. They're showing you, oh, these are my skills, and that's why it's like that. When you go to much senior designers, you see more problem solving than just skill sets and what have you. So now the key areas, just like we talked about, is focused on your skills because your experience is limited. Projects and internship are emphasized to show real world applications. Now, like I said, it showcases real world application. It doesn't have to be a real world application. So you just have to do projects that show, oh, you can do this. That means if you build a mobile app, you build an e-commerce platform, you build a dashboard, it means given the opportunity, you can carry this knowledge and work in an environment that produces real world application. Then certifications and courses help them understand that, oh, you're a learner and you're always improving, and so it's a good thing. So that means you won't be stuck to one stage with your learning process. You can actually get better over time. Now the mid level, yeah, yeah. See, when you see a designer that is loud, this is the level he is. And he has his reason. It's not, I've been there, most designers were saying, see, this is where your ego is at the highest. You are proud. Forget it. At this point in time, you've worked on some projects. You feel like now I'm in the design space. When you're in the entry level, you're in the learning. Now I'm in the design space. I am who I am. I'm going live. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm talking with developers. I'm liaising with PMs. Sometimes I'm even getting feedback from the stakeholders. You're at the top. In your mind, you're at the top of the food chain. You're egoistic. You don't want to hear anything. Your principles are the only things that stand. your wheel sharp. Either way, this is the part where, you know, it's a very funny place, but it's a place where you have to be very careful because you can be stuck a long time in the mid level and not have the opportunity to go to the senior level. So, what are these guys? Who are these guys, by the way? These are guys with 3 to 5 years experience, and they've worked on multiple projects. They are they take ownership of projects. That's why the ego comes in. You're not just come and push a few pixels here and there. You are handling projects. You're looking at data, so you feel like one scientist, like one main researcher. It's those kind of things that it gets into your mind. But hey, that's why I said for some reason, good reasons though. But you know, the thing is, at this point in time, you have to like be calm, and there's room to grow. Now, your personal information still remains the same. You just put your name, your email, phone number, your LinkedIn profile, and your portfolio link. And who are you? Yes. Yeah, you see why there's ego. User focused product designer. Remember then you were passionate. Now you're user focused. With 4 years, 4+ experience, designing intuitive and scalable digital products, proficient in user UI UX research, design systems, and interactive prototypes, passionate about creating engaging experience that balance aesthetics with functionality. So you're not just pushing pixels, you're creating logic. You're designing logic. There comes a time when you're that design logic, you're like, you know who you are. So it gets to your head at this point. Believe me, every designer gets to this stage. And yeah, it's a phase. And when you get to that phase, don't be bothered. Just snap and get out of that phase because you could be trapped if you're not careful. Now, what are the things? Your skill set is just too giving. At this point in time, even when you're a UI UX designer, you now put things like interactive design, designing for scalability, maintaining brand consistency, and improving usability through interactive design. When you talk about prototyping, you're creating interactive prototypes with micro interactions, those subtle things to improve usability, running structured usability tests and A/B tests to compare design variations and optimize conversion. Design system, you're contributing at this point in time. Then you were just learning how to use it. Now you're contributing and maintaining, using reusable component for consistency across products. You're a big boy at this point in time. A big boy stroke big. You see here, you are who you are. You're collaborating with developers. One of the sweetest things is when you and developers are, yeah, at this point in time, you're getting all those Instagram jokes where they say, listen to me. No, you listen to me. It kind of makes sense that, okay, now I'm telling the developer is telling me back. No, I'm talking of experience. The developer is focused on functionality. That back and forth start happening. But the the thing is, at this point in time, you and the developers have both equal rights when contributing to on how the experience should go. The developer will give you things that would help you, but you will now tell them, oh, this is what I'm hoping for. Both of you meet at the middle ground to make sure that you deliver a wonderful experience and it's still feasible to build. Now, this time you are also data driven. You've started playing with Hotjar, Google Analytics, and Mixpanel to track user behaviors and inform design decisions. Now, not many people get the luck or luxury to use analytics to um, monitor experiences, but I've been lucky to use Google Analytics and Hotjar. So if you have not gotten this stage, it's simple. Try and incorporate Google Analytics. Talk to your developers. Let me get the data on what is going on. So in case they are not using, because not all companies are the same. I won't say all companies have the provision to do this, but you could bring it up when you've gotten to this level. Be like, okay, let me get this data. So just write a piece of metrics and say, oh, can you draft this data for us? Can you draft this data for us? Can you draft this data for us? Whatever way you get your data, you're already data driven. All right. And if those data are making you influence design decision, it's fine. All right. So at this point in time, your experience too. So if you notice here, your experience are not just you're just performing, then you're doing this to accomplish this. But now you have a more detailed outcome. For example, redesign the banking app to improve conversion rate by 30% through a more intuitive user flow. So now you're working on it, like I said, you're user focused at this point in time, user centered. You've developed and maintained a design system or SaaS platform ensuring consistency. So you know your apps are not looking like A and finishing as Z. You have this consistency across board. We've conducted usability tests, collaborated with developers to ensure design implementation match vision. This is a very important stage because at the early stage you just design what the developer wants or design what the PM wants. But at this stage you're not checking, oh, what I ordered versus what I got. It must look the same. Hey, you're not doing this here. I need this padding to be more. I need this spacing to be more. I need this thing to be closed. I need the letters to be legible. Oh, can you gray this out? We don't want the users to think this place is clickable. All those kind of things because the developers kind of miss some of these subtle designs that improve experience. So at this point, you're matching design with development. Now, the other things that you do still comes out whether you're designing wireframes, high fidelity mockups, interactive prototypes, and it also talks about the ability to partner with product designers and engineers to come up with things. Maybe you're having some serious drop-offs, and you say, "Oh, we sat together, we collaborated as a team, we looked at the pain points and why people are dropping off. The manager said this, the engineer said this. Looking at both contributions, I kind of like came up with an experience that meets everybody's feedback, and we did. And when we tested it and we pushed it to live, the drop-offs, our engagement kind of like improved. So this is that part where you are user focused, just like it said, user focused. Now, certifications at this point in time, you are doing more senior level certifications. Nelson Norman Group UX certification is nice. Design leadership and strategy is a very nice course on IDF. As for me, at this point in time, I was just reading design books. I was reading Lean UX and Lean Startup. So it kind of like gives you like more understanding of how products work. So at this stage, you are beginning to understand how product works, product development life cycle. So you're learning a lot of things at this point in time. And that's why I say the ego comes in because there's some knowledge you just read and digest. You just be like, man, these guys don't know shit. I know this thing. So that's just some of the nice things that you have at that point in time. And like we said, the focus on your mid-level is more on the impacts. You're adding metrics to make a standpoint. You're showing sign of leadership without showing leadership because you're taking over projects. You understand? So you don't really tell us I'm a team lead because when you look at your team lead, how many years experience? You're not saying that. But you're saying you're capable though. You're capable. So you're not putting yourself down because that's like I said, that's the ego coming on. You see if you've not shown signs of this, I don't think you've hit that mid level. So specialization starts to emerge like design system knowledge, accessibility. When you say, oh, I'm designing for people that are blind, I'm designing for people that can I can't hear properly. I'm designing, for inclusive design. That's the word they call it. Inclusive design. Very hilarious, but it all works. It's a you when you put this, your recruiter is saying that okay, this guy really is coming up, it's coming up. We can use this guy. He can really define certain things. Now let's go to the next one, the senior level. Now you would expect this is the part where your ego is over highest, your ego is super satan, but no, this is where you are the most calm because you've seen it all. You've seen projects succeed, you've seen projects fail, and you understand that all you need to do is make sure everyone collaborates as the team to ensure the success of a product. And when things are way past, you do your best and leave the rest. So at this level, you're over 6 years experience, you've led teams, you've driven strategies, you've contributed to product success like impacts. You've seen impacts, and your CV will be focused on leadership, impact, contributing to country and company's growth, the ROI, that's return on investment through design thinking and innovations. You're more of a manager at this point in time. You're not just a work tool or a resource. You're actually part of the team. You're part of people that when you make decision, it can affect the growth of the company. You're not pushing pixels, you're not doing all this. And that's why I said when you get to that level, your ego doesn't need to show that much. You are who you are at this point in time. Now, personal information is the same. The only thing is quality of LinkedIn and portfolio would have improved massively. It won't be the same thing anymore. And At this time, you're a product designer with over 7 years experience designing and delivering digital solutions for. You see, now you're talking about the industries, fintech, SaaS, enterprise platform. You're way up there. Expertise in user research, data-driven design, cross-functional collaboration, adept at leading teams, mentoring junior designers, and driving product innovation through human-centered design. The leading teams is important. You are leading, you're managing young designers, and at the same time, you're improving the product innovation in your organization. You're just there. You're just there. So that's why you don't need to make noise and sport. And as you can see, most of your skill sets will be focused on leadership, design leadership and strategy, leading the design team, mentoring junior designers, establishing design practices. And this is something that um, every team leader's got to do. You lead a design team, you know how to break because sometimes, and yeah, talking from experience, you manage junior designers, they might not know what to do. And I think that's a mistake some team leads have. You begin to see yourself that is, and sometimes you might overestimate some designers and be like, oh, when I was like you, I could do this. No, at this point in time, they're new, they're white, they're blank. They need to know certain things. So you use their strengths and wherever their weakness is, you try and guide them and impact knowledge in them. Strategic UX thinking, aligning design decision with business objective, improving customer retention, and optimizing user experience for ROI is ROI is return on investment. So you're not just designing for design's sake. You're designing to meet business goals. You're designing to meet user goals. You're designing to get returns on investment to make profits because at this point in stage you need the company to make profits so that everyone can be happy. Cross-functional team collaboration, you can collaborate with the engineering team, you can collaborate with the marketing team, you can collaborate with the data team, the leadership team, and for different reasons. Engineering team to understand the feasibility, marketing team to get maybe the brand style or the brand direction they're going, the data team to get insights, user insight, and the leadership teams to understand, okay, what do we need to do to drive this product forward. At this point in time, you are that guy. You need to be seen in all these groups, or most of these groups at least. AI and machine learning in UX. There's no way you see, even at mid-level, you should understand, should be incorporating a little bit of AI into your experience. But at the senior level, you need to look into AI. So whenever you're working on a product, you need to look at um, how AI could be used in improving this product. If AI cannot work, what about voice interaction? What about things that will make the experience much simpler? You could also look at VR and AR because that's something that a lot of people still use today. Some people don't want to be like pressing screens; they want to be like operating things. So you say, okay, can this with this target market be interested in a VR and AR? You have to look at all those things. Accessibility and ethical designs, meeting legal and ethical UX standards. Now, this part is very important because we miss it. There are times when you're walking or you're playing with your phone, you see permission to access this. Those are um, ethical standards that need to be done. And as a junior or mid-level designer, you can miss this. But sometimes you need to understand that you can't just go and access the user's information without letting them know. So you put a disclaimer. So you need to make sure that your accessibility and when it talks to accessibility, we're talking about um, things that speak to diverse groups and people that may not be able to see properly, colorblind. You need to if your target audience have this set of people, you need to look at how you can improve the experience for these people. So that's just in public speaking and thought leadership. At this point in time, yes, you need to. Is at this point in time whether you have to give back to the community. Yeah. So you have to like mentor, go for public speaking, handle a group. Every senior designer that I've mentored is now mentoring, which is kind of like a joy to me because they are bringing people into the industry and showing them the way of growth. And I like that we are no longer a toxic space. Before we used to be my design better than yours kind of thing, but now we're like we want to grow as a community. So we talk about case studies, we talk about design knowledge, we talk about industry standards, we talk about the right books to read, we talk about how to use these principles and different principles and what have you. So it's very nice, and at this point in time, you need to have done some of these things and maybe create a YouTube channel like I'm doing now, so that people could learn and people could grow. Then write a Medium article. I've done that before, so people could learn from that as well. Make LinkedIn posts, push, drive innovation, drive industry knowledge so that people could learn and gain. And it will help you grow as a senior designer because you will always be in deep search for knowledge on how to improve user experience. And when you're in search, you obviously find. So your experience is at the top, it's really just there. And just like the mid-level, it's really focused on the product metrics, And when I talk of product metrics, I'm talking of the five metrics, which is acquisition, activation, retention, referral, and revenue. So when you're building out or churning out products, you're speaking to investors. Things like spearheaded the design for an AI-powered financial planning tool, increasing user engagement by 40%. Led a team of 5 designers, mentoring them and improving the team workflows. Partner with engineering and product teams to define design roadmaps, aligning with business goals. It's kind of like you see, it's more of a managerial kind of thing. Design the scalable design system for SaaS platform used by over 1,000 users, conducted user interviews and A/B testing, leading to 20% drop in user churn. So these are like you can see that these are more of the goal centric, the metric centric like that, and focus on your ability as a leader. Now, certifications you have to have done like advanced UI course. You can check IDEO. You can also check you should also have done the UX leadership by Nelson Norman Group. There are also other platforms, and if you can have them, you can put them on the comment section for me. And you just need to like at this point in time read more product books. So you've grown beyond the reading just about design. Read more product book, the lean product book, the lean UX. After reading lean UX, you can have the lean startup, user experience, team of one. You just read a lot of product books um, that would shape you to be understanding products and product development lifestyle. So there's the product cookbook too that's very nice. Has a little bit of experience in some of the chapters, and it makes you understand how a product goes from inception to development. So at this point in time, I use a lot of books to understand. Then you're doing public speaking, you're posting articles on Mediums, you're posting um, LinkedIn posts. Even if you're just starting out, you could still post LinkedIn posts. What you've learned, you just want to share to the world. Always post. That's another way recruiters could see you and say, okay, this guy has some prospects, or this guy is established, or this guy, we need this guy to lead our team. This is some of the things that will put you out there. And at the same time, yeah, even though I've said 2 to 3 portfolios as minimum, at this point in time, you might put like 4 or 5, just to show that you've touched other bases in product design. So key focus is strong leadership, impact driven with metrics, just like the mid-level, and speaking engagements to showcase industry authority. So these are the ways to set up um, your CVs. And right now, I'll be taking you through a way, people another challenge people have is when some design on Figma. So if you're designing your CV on Figma, I'd advise you to stop, especially if you so even though you have export as PDF. The problem with using Figma design CVs when I don't know if Figma has fixed that though, but at the time we were designing CVs on Figma, the most of the tools they use to check and filter out um, CVs designed on Figma doesn't recognize them properly. So you'll be seeing some foreign characters instead of the actual characters. So if you're not using Illustrator to design the CVs, you can use Microsoft Word. And there's this app platform, careerflow.ai, which I'll let you guys show. It's one of the best ways to create your CV so that it meets some standard. Because if you run this on most ATS websites, it would actually help you out. So you can pick a template. There are different templates you can work with, and they have different types of template: Australian, compact, career flow, Harvard. For me, I just put your career flow template, and you can just say product designer, and you can see they have something for you. Product designer, you can continue, and you can put your description. So let's look at some of the descriptions that I worked out where we have passionate designers, you can this and this, you can have this all labeled out, and you can control this right here. And you say, okay, continue. And it's generating your template. So what do we have here? We have our CV details and everything. So you can come here, you can say, okay, I want to put my phone number 090-931-9500. That's not actually my phone number, but I'm just going to do that. And address, you could say 14 Aja Shi or Jasa. And you can come and put city, Lagos. So that there won't be any issues and it won't duplicate some things. You can say maybe I just put Jota City so that you won't have duplicated characters and it does it for you right there. So it does that. Ojota, Lagos, Nigeria. You could put your zip code, especially if you're applying for jobs outside. And you can also tag which one you want, whether you want open to remote, open to relocate. At this early stage of your career, you should be open to everything. Maybe when you get to the place where you can actually just let it go. So now adding your social links. Yeah, you can just put your LinkedIn profile. I'm not going to do that for now, but you can also do that. Professional experience, summaries, talked about that. We save, so it creates the summary for you, your work experience. This is where you now add some of the things we talked about. We can now look at, okay, uh, UI UX design intern. So experience one, UI UX design intern. So you can put a company, internship group, internship group. You can put the city, Lagos, you put the country, Nigeria. They help you out with it. So you can see they put all these things. Is there a remote position? You can check that out. It will help you create that spot. So you can put your start date. You can say I currently work here. So that shows how this is where you've been. So role description. So this is where you add those things we talked about. So you can say, okay, I was here, I did this. Make sure you remove the bullet point, but still will do that for you. And we can add this, add another one. So it needs to stand out. Do that. You can save this. Oh, okay. Let me see. I just noticed something. I think when you have the bullet point shown, kind of like, you know, oh, role description. Okay, what you did there. Okay. That's different bullets. So let me just take this. So we can have this. We can have this. So the role description can say, okay, assisted senior designers in creating work. But it can also be that you can also look at that. No. Role description. Uh, I'll actually use UI UX design intern. Actually, let me see how that looks here. Nah, or well, we should come. We should also look at. Let's see role description. So you can say you can look at your summary and take some things from it. Mm, skilled in this to take this. So you can actually take this and just put that as your role description. or whatever way you can actually put that as the first one. So you skilled in this to do this and do this, do this, do this, this. So you can add more experience and more bullet points. You can add a new experience, that's your experience too, but I won't be doing that. Zoom in is your first CV and you can just do that. Then your education, you can, like I said, if you whatever role you did, I think you should just put it there. It's evidence that you went to school. So I went to the of University of Lagos, and you finished with a bachelor's degree, and you have your CGPA. Now, if you don't want to put your CGPA, it's fine. If you're not proud of it, but if you did do very good, you can put the CGPA. So it's not a must. You can put computer science. You could also put, you can decide you should put the course because the way it's programmed, it says bachelor's in. So for the sake of everything, just put something bachelor, even if it's agriculture, just put it there. Did that in the city of Lagos, and you can do Nigeria. Nigeria, so just this is Nigeria. All right, we can select that. Whatever year you did this, whether it was May, I think when I came into school. This was just look for a very reasonable year. It was 2010. You could actually choose your end months. I mean, you might still be studying though. I, I know I'm being unrealistic here because I mean, if you think, well, those that have career change might have finished in 2015, so there's nothing wrong with that. If you're still in school, you have the checkbox to click. You're still here. You can add certification now. Certifications, very, very important. Very, very important. This is where you should load lots of certifications, put them in. I think we got some certifications right here. I have Google UX course. I have the Google UX course right here. So put this right here. Authority, if you don't have anything to put. If you have the certification URL, put the URL. It's very important. If you don't, just let it slide. Certification date, and just if you don't have any all that, just put that. At least let the certification do. But if you have the URL, the beauty of having the URL is once you have once you have the URL, your certification shows like a link. So I don't know whether I should put a URL or something. Shows like a link that it goes to that particular page. So if you don't have any URL or you don't have the this thing, just let it go. And because most of the courses you might be taking will be not accredited, but they'll have a link. Like Udemy has a link to the certification. So yeah, let me see if I could load that one up. I could quickly just load one up. Mm, yeah, it's logging in. So while that is logging in, I think we should put. Let me check one of the courses I did. And let me look at one I did Udemy. Let me go back here. So I did some Udemy courses. All right, it's loading my page. I could just put, uh, I'll actually test it. Then if you have projects, you can add them as well. Skill sets, this is where we'll add some skills. We're coming to that. But let's look at, yeah. So I get to my learning. I did lots of courses on Udemy. And this is my go-to place for learning every skill set. Anything I'm learning today, I know I have a Udemy course for it. So, this is two favorite courses down here. Um, and I encourage people to do the course. Nearly everyone that I've met that's asked me, oh, I need breakdown of courses. This course was done by Caleb, and it's very exciting guy. Teaches you Figma in the most simplest of ways. I mean, So this Caleb, and I finished the course at the time. So let me see where I could access my certificates. Oh no, that's my certificate of completion. Okay, I think I need to go back into the course. All right, yeah, get certificates right here. So I finished the course. Finished a long time ago. So in this place, they have a URL, and don't mind the price tag. They have some special bonanza period, so always look out for Udemy when they have some special bonanza. So this is the certificate's name. I don't have the authority, but I do have the link. So the idea is once you see how the link works. Let's see. So I actually just copied this link, and so yes, see, let's see, and you can put this link right here. So saves that. So you can see we learn Figma. So when they click here, it will take them there. And let me look at the date I completed this course. I finished this course in 2018. Yeah. So let's go there and tell them, oh, I finished this October. So still, mm-mm. So I'm gonna check this. So October 2018, and I add the certificate. So you can see it shows like a link here, so it's clickable. You can see the experience is actually nice. Now we talked about your skill set being some of the main things. Skill set, because there's not much to have in your experience, but your certifications should be at least 3 to 5. You should have lots of certifications. Now your skills, just like we have on that place, you got UX design skills. You know, you got UX design skills, and we talked about category UX design. So this is where you talk about your wireframing. You can now stay wireframing. So the beauty about this is it can help you streamline wireframing, prototyping. Remember you specified certain things, so you can just check, yeah, prototyping. So you can even say Figma, to bring out Figma. So you add all these skills and you just add this category. So you start loading them with different categories. So your skills, you could, let me just look at, let's pick up some other skills. Let's pick up some other skills. Let's just load all the skills. So I'm going to do, yes, I'm going to be cutting them one after the other. So I can add a new category. Put this one here. I can come here. Put this. Do this. You can have user research, user testing. Then I can cut this, add a category, paste this right here, go back here. I think I should have done it the other way. But hey, no problem. We'll get to the end of it eventually. And we have design systems, components, like that, add category, copy here, go back here. Okay, so I think I have everything here. Design systems and components. So for whatever skills that you need to put, in this research, you could add things like Google Sheets or Google Analytics. You could also add Google Analytics. You could add, let's say, let me just use GZ. You could add this for me. You could add Hotjar. If you play with Hotjar, you can add that on HTML and CSS. You could add, Visual VS Code, because those are some of the things they usually use to build these things. We could add, they can add that word, design systems and components. Mm, we can say UI kits. You could add that one. You can add micro interaction, micro interaction. You could add that one. So I just want something to be here with everything. Wireframe, you can have Figma. You can add this Figma software. You can add FigJam. So you can add this and you can add that as well. FigJam. So you have this. So you can see that improving. So you see you've gotten up to 60, and that's because we didn't fully put everything. So by the time you put your links, social links, let me see. Let me see if I can open my LinkedIn. If I can open my LinkedIn, go my social link. It's possible. All right, so I think it's possible. So having your social links, everything, you can see there's a metric to boost your CV, and you can just put this LinkedIn. You can just put the URL, and you can just leave it as LinkedIn, yeah, or Samuel's LinkedIn. You could rename it, but you could just add that. So you can see it has gone up to 75, without. So when you add everything needed, add education, add more certifications, and what have you, everything will go up. Your projects, you add the links to your projects, specialized projects to go on and put your interest and language. By the time you start volunteering, you add that. You could also create sections, but I've never had to do this. So it is a basic CV, and this is like 75%. So imagine when you're done with the basic things, you can still get your CV up to 90. You can see your skill set score. It's rapid. It's there. It's given. So when you want to export, you can just export this. It'll save your CV for you to look at this, having a little load and all that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. And this is the CV which you can save it on your Google Drive, save it on your phone, where you can send to everyone and all that. So if you really enjoyed this session, please like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time. Next thing I'll be working on is case studies. For those of you that are struggling how to build your case studies.